Hello students. All right, I want to show you a better way to import files. Some of you have chosen a number of files for your project and you're going to have to import those. So I want to show you a better way to do it. So you've been using the import wizard, which is very similar to doing a proc import, so you don't have to use the wizard. So I've got a proc import set up to go here. I've got Citibank or the city bike data loaded into the VDI. I did convert them to an XLSX as an Excel sheet as the instructions indicated. I did rename them a little bit because I like shorter names. So I'm going to go ahead and run this proc import. I'm telling the SAS that the DBMS is in Excel and do a replace if you run it more than once. Get names means I want to use the field names that are provided in the Excel data sheet, and sheet equals data. I did name the sheet data, nice and easy. That's like sheet 1, sheet 2, or whatever. All right, so let's run this and see what happens. All right, so this is running. What we're showing down here is the log. These are some pretty big files, so it's going to run a little bit. What I did here was just highlight a section of code, so I can run just pieces of code if I want to and not run the whole thing. So when this finishes, we will take a look and see what we have. All right, there we go. Work data 3 set was successfully created, and it looks like I have just over 1 million observations in the data set. Let's take a look in my library. So I don't know if you noticed that, but I went over here to libraries, and here's my work library. And you can see I've got data 1, data 2, data 3. I did import 2 earlier because I didn't want you to have to sit through all of them. Using this exact same code and just changing data 1, data 2, data 3 when I ran it. So here we can look at that. There is the data set that we just created. All right, so let's close that again. So then often what you're going to want to do, you have multiple data sets, you're going to want to combine these. So I do have a data step written right here where I'm going to combine all 3 data sets, and it's going to go data, the new name, and then data 1, data 2, and data 3 for my 3 data sets. So let's just run this little bit here. Oh, look at that. I have an error. Well, let's take a look. What? Nothing in there? Oh, I hate it when that happens. So my data set didn't get created. Why not? That's because in my data sets, I've got birth year has been defined as character or numeric. So that's one of the problems with using a proc import or the import wizard. You are at the mercy of what SAS decides is going to be the characteristics of your variable. Another problem is that the first variable that it reaches, the first value of a specific variable will be, let's say you've got a value that's 10 characters long. Well, then that variable is set in 10 characters in length for the rest of your data, even though you may have data that's longer. So that may not be what you want. All right, so let's try something else now. When we did the import using proc import of an Excel datasheet, which we were told to convert, we didn't get much information. But there's a better way. Now I have a proc import statement. I did not convert that data to an Excel spreadsheet. I left it as a CSV. So I changed my import statement a little bit. DBMS equals CSV replace, get names equals yes, run. Took away the sheet thing because there is no sheet in a CVS file. All right, let's clear my log so I get a nice clean log. All right, my log is cleared. Let's run this piece of code now. I'm going to call this one CData1. All right, woo. Look how quick that went. SAS must be able to process CSV files much faster. Still over 1 million records. Okay, but look at all this nice code that we got in there. Look at that. This is what SAS used to import that file. So here's the trick that I like to do. You can take that right out of your log. Oopsie, oopsie, don't want all that. Oh, sorry about that. All right, might have to clean that up a little bit. So I'm going to do copy. Let's start a new program and do a paste. All right, so I do have some extra stuff in there. I can get rid of this because that's part of the log I really don't need. And scroll up here. We can leave that data work. Let's call this clean data. All right, you can leave that in there. Here's the in file. So then what you need to do, which it is a little bit of a hassle, but it's not that bad. You do need to get rid of these numbers on the side that came with the log. So you just go delete, 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 and go all the way down and do all those. So I'm not going to do that for this whole thing right now, but let's take a look what I've got here. You've got the in format. This, you're telling SAS what is the format of the data that you're reading in. You've got the format. Now you're telling SAS what is the format of the data I want to put into my data set. And then the last part of this is just saying, okay, go ahead and input it. So now what you can do is you can tell SAS what you want these field formats to be. So let's take a look at the one that gave me some trouble. It was birth year. I don't want birth year to be alphanumeric. I want birth year to be numeric. So I'm going to change that there. The in format, I'm going to change it here to there. And there should be one more I got to change. Oh, on the input statement. Here. The other thing you can do on any of these fields is you can look and say the user ID, well 12, that's not enough. I can make that 25 and change it down here too. Or you can change any of these to be what you want them to be. So I went ahead and completely cleaned that up. These are all consistent now. I've got my work new file, is what I named this one, I guess. City bike, oh, no, actually that's not the one I want. That was an older one I was looking at. This is the one I want, clean data. There we go, sorry about that. So I got my clean data. The same file I'm gonna import. I set birth year to be numeric, and oh, look at that, gotta get rid of that. And birth year here. All right, let's try running this program. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna check my log. And there were records run from the in file. Looks good. We'll look at this in just a minute. Clean data. Let's look at that. All right. There's my file and birth year 1974. Birth year is numeric. Good. We're going to close that. So what happened here You see all these dots? That means those are null value. Let's go back to the log. And, oh, you see all these errors? Ah, who wants all those errors? Oh no. All that means is that there was alphanumeric values where SAS was expecting numeric. And those don't bother me. I knew that was going to happen. So if those kinds of errors, if you know they're going to happen and they don't bother you, then I wouldn't worry about them. You just now have a null value instead of that NA that we saw before. So now you have this import CSV. You can reuse this code for all of your files. You just import, here's number 2013-09. I was doing 7 and 8. All I'd have to do is swap out 8 and let's do clean data. Oops, let's do clean data 2. Run that. All right, there's clean data 2. Let's do clean data 3. And I was doing 7. Run that. All right, we got that. We got 3 clean data sets. Let's do a new program, open a new window, go data, all clean data. The sets are clean data 1, clean data 2, clean data 3, run. Let's see if we have any errors. Oops, we do. How about that? I must have oh, I am not typing well. Let's try that again. All right. Yeah, I misspelled all 3 of them. How about that? All right. That's what happens when you rush. Oh, of course. My mistake again. The first one did not have a 1. I apologize. I'm kind of doing this a little bit on the fly, so bear with me. That's one thing about SAS, though. You can just keep doing stuff over. I think I finally got it that time. Woohoo! There we go. No errors. They were all merged. There was no mismatch in the data types. So believe me, importing files and merging them can really be a hassle. Let me show you one more thing before I close this video. So now that I've showed you how to set the variable types the way you want, I would take a hard look at some of these. Start time. Right now, that imported as alphanumeric when I let SAS decide what to import as that. I probably wouldn't leave that as alphanumeric. If you want some ideas on what to do with the date and time, let me know. Same thing for that. So take a look at some of these and say, I don't want that to be alphanumeric or numeric. Decide what field types you want them to be, and then you can set them. All right, I think that video is long enough. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.